This is the hard rock grinder, and it is used for sharpening tools. We use it for sharpening TIG rod. For the welder, we use it for sharpening drill bits mainly. This is the upright belt sander, and it has multiple grits, everything from 36 to 60 to 80 and 120, and it allows us to also deburr or sand a particular part that needs to be sanded. This is a pedestal wire wheel, and we've got long hair and a short hair wire wheel on it, and it's mainly using for removing rust and surface paint on small parts that need to be welded. This is the coal forge. This is where we do all of our heating up of the steel for working with blacksmithing, for working with the steel and reshaping it. It has a hand crank blower and an electric blower. This is an anvil, and this is what we typically forge the steel on top of, and this is our main working piece. On the anvil, this is the horn, the main body, and the heel. The square hole is the hardy hole, the round hole is the pritchel. Most of your scroll work and rounding and drawing out is done on the horn. Most of your heavy forging is done right over the top of the waist, and all your tooling fits into the hardy hole, and the pritchel is used for punch work. And this is a post vise or a leg vise, and this is where when you need a vise to hold something for hammering on, that's the main purpose of these vices, is that you can beat on a vise like this. This is a small 70-pound power hammer. We use it for forging a lot of smaller work. The power hammers, the purpose of them is to speed up your work time and to allow you to work with heavier objects. This is a fly press. The main purpose for it is it allows us to work the tool with 3 tons of pressure by movement of just your hand. It's used for chiseling work, punching work, and for straightening work. This is a large power hammer. It's a Schindler. It's a 120-pound weight, and once again, it's used for speeding up forge work and for working with larger pieces of steel. This is a swedge block, and it has a bunch of different forms and shapes in the steel piece itself that allow us to forge into or push the steel into it to actually replicate that shape onto a piece. This is a gear-driven drill press, and it just allows us to drill holes in the steel. This is a Miller 300 MIG welder. This is the main power source that you're looking at. The wire feed and speed adjustment is actually out here on the boom arm, and it allows us to take the MIG welder and swing it around through the shop so that we can weld in different places in the shop much easier. This is a Roland gravity feed bandsaw, and it's what we mainly use for cutting the lengths of steel into working pieces. This is the TIG welder. It's a Miller Dynasty 200, and it's what we mainly work on fine welding. It allows us to weld aluminum, bronze, and brass also. This is a 18-ton hydraulic press. It allows us to refine certain parts of steel or push into a form much slower than the power hammers will. This is an oxyacetylene rig, and it's in a cart. It allows us to push it around the shop, and it's used for specific heating. When we need to heat a certain part of a piece of steel, loosen bolts, cut things, we can use this torch. This is a foot-operated treadle hammer. It allows you to use your leg and keeps your 2 hands free. Your leg is the power source, so it works well for chiseling, punching, top and bottom tooling. This is a small portaband saw that we use for cutting small nuts and bolts and things that you don't want to cut on the larger band saw. these are all modern tools as well as traditional tools that are used in a shop. It's always the song of the anvil or the ring that attracts people to a building like this.